Hey there, I'm Adrienne, transformation coach and your go-to gal for navigating grief and loss. On this show, we're not shying away from tough conversations. Let's talk about how we're really feeling and how to show up in our lives even though so many hard things have happened. Loss and grief are tough topics, but witnessing each other's pain and getting really honest about what we want our lives to look like in our next chapter is the way forward. You're not broken. You deserve happiness. And even though you might not think that's possible, or even feel like your life is over, I'm here to show you that you can feel peace, purpose, and joy again. Let's talk about all things change, loss, and grief, and how to move forward so we can create a life we love. Welcome to the Living with Loss podcast. Hey there, friends. I'm Adrienne. Welcome back to Living with Loss. Today, we are talking about bringing the joy. If you're going through a difficult time, you're probably like, shut up with your nonsense. But aside from just creating the feeling that we want to feel, I think it is super important to be very intentional about creating joyful moments. And it requires just that intention. I am a huge fan of Peloton. I love Peloton. I ride my bike. I've had the tread. I do the strength workouts. Love me some yoga and meditation. And the instructor, Callie, she says, BYOE, bring your own energy. And I think this is so fundamental. If you want to experience joy in your life, you have to bring the joy. You can't just wait for somebody else to create the experience that you want to have. And this is a really challenging, kind of counterintuitive thing when you're in the midst of hell, right? You're going through a challenging time. Bring the joy. Stop it. Seriously, stop it. But it's true. It is true. It is a choice and we can do it even when it's hard. So I personally love the idea of being responsible for the energy that I bring to my day and any situation in my life. I have this thing I've called my sunny disposition for a long time. I had a dog named Sunny, who actually recently died, but I had him for 18 years. And this dog, no matter what was going on, he was just happy. He was happy to be around me, just cuddling with his human, didn't matter. We could be walking, the sky could open up, it's raining. Most dogs kind of freak out. Nope, he's just wagging his tail because he's walking along with me. I kind of took a page out of his book, right? No matter what the world's throwing at me, I'm going to choose to find the good in it, choose to be positive about it. This is a choice that I make. It's not the choice that everyone has to make, to be clear. It's not that I don't feel difficult, hard emotions. I do. Of course I do. But I'm also very intentional in creating the experience that I want to have. So I choose to look for the opportunity. Where can I inject some positivity, some joy, some goodness into a situation, even if it's a really difficult situation? I believe that if you are very intentional with the things that you believe, with the things that you tell yourself, that will alter the energy that you're able to bring to the situation. So if you're believing things that are crushing your spirit every day, it's time to cultivate some new beliefs. So one belief that I have that allows me to look beyond the current challenging circumstances is everything is for me. Everything is for me. Even the bad stuff, the hard stuff, it is all for me. It's for my learning, for my growth, for my development, for becoming a new version of myself. I don't think that we can have the light without going through the dark. I don't. You wouldn't know love and happiness and joy if you didn't know sadness and depression and difficulty. You wouldn't. Life is this duality of experiences, and without one, there is no other. So for me, again, personal choice, I believe everything is for me. All of it, even the hard stuff. Doesn't mean that I love it when I'm in it. It doesn't mean that I'm grinning ear to ear as, my leg's bleeding, but it does mean that all of the challenging stuff, it's for me. That has helped me truly see beyond the present circumstances, whatever they might be in that moment, and believe that I'm going to get to the other side of it. And in doing so, I'm going to be better for it. Personal beliefs. Brendan Burchard, he is in the personal development space. And one thing that he says is the power plant doesn't have energy, it generates energy. And I love this. I love this so much. You don't have joy, you choose to intentionally create it. You don't just have happiness, You generate happiness by the way that you think, the way that you behave, the life that you create. So you have to be really intentional in cultivating the experience that you want to have. When I'm having a really difficult day, I ask myself, am I going to just allow this emotion, this pit of whatever, sadness, despair, whatever is showing up that day, to sweep through me and control my day, or am I going to choose something different? It takes a lot of work to choose something different. It's not always easy, but there's choice in there. And so I'll do the things that help me change my state, some movement, some thought work, whatever's required there. I got my different emotional regulation techniques. Maybe I do some deep breathing, some meditation, whatever it is, right? And I kind of get back to a more even keel. And then I'm very intentional to create the experience I want to create. I do. I think that we have a choice, even though hard things are happening, even though bad things are happening, even though it feels like the weight of the world is on your shoulders and the sky is falling, we have a choice to run around being automatic and reactive and impulsive and feeling chaotic, or we can choose to be intentional. It can be reflective over reactive. We can choose our response. I have found that there are some people in my life that think everything is bad. That's just how they choose to show up, whether they realize they're consciously doing it or not doing it. The sky is always falling, everything is always hard, they're always complaining. For me, like I said, I choose to believe everything is for me. So I think even when things are so challenging and dark and difficult, there's an opportunity there. There's an opportunity. There's always abundance and awe available to us. This is a ridiculous example, but I'll share it. I was in my backyard with my dogs and I was staring at these bushes that are out there, and there's some pretty purple flowers on them right now. But I was looking at like the branches and the twigs of the bush. And I was thinking, like, that piece of wood is alive. That's alive. Like that thing that is like this inanimate object, not currently like growing in front of me, not moving around, not animated like an animal is. It's just there. That piece of wood is alive. Holy smokes. It might sound dumb. Maybe you're rolling your eyes at me. But if you choose to look at ordinary things as extraordinary, that's bringing the joy. That's being open to awe and amazement in every situation. I'm standing there waiting for my dog to go to the bathroom, and I'm just like mesmerized by the aliveness of the shrubbery. It's a choice. It's a choice that I made in that moment. I was feeling a little low, energy wasn't so great. I'm like, I mean, can we just look around us and look at the awesomeness that is this world? Whoa. Again, maybe you're rolling your eyes at me, but I do think if you take a walk and you allow yourself to be in awe of what's around you, it's going to change you. It's going to change how you look at things. It's going to change how you feel. So there's always that opportunity. Choose your response. So I believe we can generate joy. We can create the energy we want to feel. So how do you generate joy? Just mention one thing. Look at things with awe and amazement. Choose to find the ordinary extraordinary. That'll change things. That'll change your state. If you want to bring the joy, one thing you can do is cue it. Cue happiness. So you want to intentionally direct the conversation if you're with other people, or your thoughts if you're alone, from what's hard and what's not working to what's beautiful, what's amazing, what's something wonderful you experienced lately, what made you smile. Adjust your focus so you're queuing up happiness. A second thing, an actual physical cue. Here comes another absurd example. You're welcome, everybody. But I was a supervisor over a small team, and there was another supervisor as well. And so we had this team of people, and we worked in operations planning. And there were days where it was so fun, and there's creativity, and we're all getting along, and things are good. And then there are other days where you turn in the operation order, or you finish the project, and somebody turns around and is like, "Yeah, gonna need you to do that again." We're at the end of the day. 4 p.m., it's almost 4, we're about to get out of here. And somebody comes back and it's like, actually, I need you guys to redo this before you go home tonight. And then we know we're going to be there till like 8 or 9 o'clock at night. And we're like, ah. So, that's the normal response, right? That's the reactive. But the cue is one of the guys on my team, he would yell, woo, whether something was good or bad. This is just the thing he did. And we had worked together in a previous context, another team in another place, and he did the same thing. Woo! Good or bad. That's the energy he is bringing to the table every time. And that is contagious. Holy smokes. So something amazing happened. Woo! Something terrible happened. Woo! And it changed the mood and the energy of the group immediately. Everyone adopted it. I still do it. We haven't worked together in years, since 2019, I think. And I still woo. And we'll text like in the group. Woo! Years later. Or, the other supervisor I worked with, same thing. Like we'll hit each other with a well-placed woo. And like if we need it, right? We're bringing the joy. We are turning the day around. Woo! Probably like if you do that one more time, I swear. But anyways, so it does. It just changes everything. Even telling the story and talking about it right now, I'm smiling. It makes me happy to think about. And it's something I've carried with me and I still do, whether I'm with those people or not with those people. That's something that is just in my life now as a mechanism to turn some things around. Bringing the joy, well-placed woo, turns it all around. And it's hilarious, right? Everybody's being all like glummy Gus and you're over there wooing. I mean, come on. That's never not going to be funny to me, anyways. But over the past couple months, I've adopted another kind of physical cue that is a cue for me. And I've done it in the presence of other people, which got a couple side eyes, but I do a lot of weird things, so I don't really care at this point. And the thing for me that I've been doing is a single clap, and I say out loud, I'm bringing the joy, bringing the joy. That's it. That's the energy I'm bringing to myself, to whoever's with me. I'm bringing the joy. And I do the clap, bringing the joy. These noises, I don't know how well they're going to translate in a recording. But anyways, whether it's the woo or the clap, the thing is, these types of cues, this like physical interruption, it shakes up the moment that you're in for yourself, or if you're with a group or another person, it totally changes the feel of the moment. You cannot do this loud clap and say, bring the joy or yell woo and not shift the focus and change the energy. It is going to happen. You do that thing that interrupts the mood, the conversation, whatever it is, that kind of negative downward spiral. You do the thing that interrupts it, and then you take an intentional step to shift the conversation or the behavior in the direction that brings the joy. So you have that interrupting moment, and then that's like your opportunity, and you just change the direction. I ask that you don't judge these things without trying them, because if you've never done anything like this, if you've never set up intentional cues to shift your energy or bring the joy, then you're probably judging it as ridiculous, or that's not going to work, or I'm going to look like a crazy person. I mean, maybe, yes, you might look like whatever. That's fine. Who cares? Other people's opinions, none of our business. So if that is going to help you, then do it. For me, I have found, again, a well-placed woo or a clap, and I'm bringing the joy. That turns my energy around. Why would I not do that? Why would I not do a thing, even if it looks a little silly, sounds a little silly, if it changes how I'm feeling in the moment and I need that change? I say try out different cues, see what works for you. So your brain gets accustomed to the fact that when that thing happens, that's a cue that we're shifting. We're shifting gears, we're shifting energy. Try it again. You might be rolling your eyes. You might be like, that's dumb. It's not going to work. Try it, try it, try it. And let me know if it does, how you felt, how that worked out for you. Don't knock till you tried it. That's all. You can set all sorts of triggers, right? Like the woo and the clap. Those are my personal favorites. But you can also do things like have a sign in a doorway. Every time you walk through that door, there's a sign beside it that says, give yourself a hug or whatever it is, right? Whatever you want to experience, right? There's a visual cue to help you do it. You can put a notification in your phone. Another cue that I have in my life, not necessarily for bringing the joy, but for checking in, baseline, where am I at, is I have notifications in my phone to do a body scan throughout the day, check in with myself. So you could set up these notifications. You can have a doorway rule. You could put a sign, have a visual cue. If you're waiting in line, every time you're standing in line, instead of bemoaning the line, you're going to fill it in. Whatever that thing is that you want to try that's going to bring the joy. Maybe you compliment the person in front of you. Who really knows? So you want to set up these triggers, these cues, so you can shift your energy to bring the joy. And it's an experimentation process. I suggest you try the ones I said because who doesn't want to woo or clap and you'll bring the joy? I mean, but try different things and see what works for you for shifting your energy. Another thing is if you come from a place of service, so you're having a down day, you're having trouble creating the feeling that you want to feel, and you're just like, I need some joy. I need some joy. I want to feel happy. Ask yourself, who can you help? Who can you check in on or show up for that might need a little light in their life? Ask yourself, send your friend a text, give them a call, get on the phone with somebody, go visit somebody. I mean, I know it's not 1995 anymore, but maybe shoot a text before you show up at their doorstep. But think to yourself, who could use a little bit of cheer in their life? Who could use their day being brightened? And come from a place of service and think, who can I help or who can I serve? Who can I delight, surprise and delight, and do it? Because the thing is, when we come from a place of service, it benefits others. But in benefiting others, we are benefiting ourselves. Coming from a place of service will light them up and it will light you up. It's intentional. Asking yourself, who can I help? Who can I serve? And then do it. Another suggestion, little tool for the toolbox for bringing the joy. Appreciate yourself or someone else. I say appreciate yourself if you're by yourself, compliment yourself. Be very specific. Or somebody else. Give out a compliment that's sincere and specific, not just, oh, you're a nice person. I really admire how you spend time individually with your kids. I really admire how you prioritize date night. I really admire how you show up as a leader at work. Whatever it is, something that's genuine and specific and sincere to that person, and give them a compliment. Anytime we've been complimented, I know I'm not alone when I say this, it lights us up. If you compliment somebody else, you could see the joy register on them. That energy, it's contagious. So bring it. Pay attention to someone and notice something about them. If you go to a restaurant, something about your server, something about the person that brought you to your seat. Pay attention to someone, notice something about them, and pay them a compliment that's sincere and specific. Another thing is, this is from my grandmother, and she would always say, tell someone that you love them. Tell someone that you love them. She was somebody that had lost multiple children throughout her life, and she understood probably better than most people that you never know when your last moment is, and you never know when your last moment with that person is. And I can very distinctly remember a conversation with her when I was in high school. And she said, if you love somebody, tell them. Not because you want them to say it back to you, not because you expect them to say it back to you. You tell them because that's how you feel. And if you don't tell them, you might lose that opportunity. And for me, that's something that has stuck. Whether it's in form of appreciation, you pay a compliment, or tell somebody that you love them. Reach out to somebody else and find a way to impact them. That will impact you. That'll change your energy. You will bring the joy for you and for them. Win-win situation. All of this really comes down to the idea of creating the positive feelings, positive emotions, high vibe feelings, high vibe emotions that we want to feel, especially when times are tough. We don't want to get stuck in that stagnant energy. We don't want to let the waves of these low vibe feelings just control every day so we stay stuck and overwhelmed and we can't get into our lives. No, we want to be intentional to create the experience that we want to have. How do we do that? We bring the joy. How do we do that? We bring the joy. I want to encourage you to try this, not just the whole find the feeling, how do I want to feel, create it. Be intentional about creating the joy. I hope this works for you. I hope that you have some fun with it and trying it. I'm guarantee if you start wooing or clapping and yelling, bringing the joy, you're going to make some people laugh, which in turn is going to make you laugh. And it'll turn the day around. So again, ways that we can bring the joy: cue happiness, direct conversation, physical cues. I do an actual woo or a clap and say, bring the joy. You could set up your own cues or triggers however you need to. Come from a place of service. Think of who can you help? Who can you impact? Who can you check on and show up for? And you do that. The other one, appreciate yourself or someone else, pay them a sincere and specific compliment. And lastly, tell somebody you love them. These things will create the joy, will create the experience that you want to feel in your life. We have the ability to create how we want to feel. We have the ability to create the experiences that we want to have. We just have to be really intentional about doing it. I hope this has been helpful for you. I hope you try it. Again, if you do, please let me know. I would absolutely love to hear what you did to bring the joy and how it impacted somebody else. So definitely shoot me a DM on Instagram and let me know. Or if you're on my newsletter, hit reply to this week's newsletter and let me know what you did. I absolutely love hearing from you, love the stories, so keep them coming. And I hope you have an amazing week. I hope you have a joy-filled week. I hope you're able to create how you want to feel, that you're able to create the experience that you need in your life right now, even if it's challenging, even if it's hard. You can create an experience that you want to have. You just got to be intentional about doing it. So thank you so much and have an amazing, joy-filled week. Until next time. That's it for today's episode, my friends. Thanks so much for joining me on the Living with Loss podcast. Please like and follow the show so you don't miss an episode. If you're looking for more grief support, grab my free guide, 5 Essential Tools for Immediate Relief from Grief, even if you don't think that's possible. Head on over to adriancrowley.com and download it. Remember, you may not have chosen all the changes or losses in your life, but you get to choose what happens next. New episodes drop every Wednesday. Until then, have a fantastic week.